For this Wiki project, our group decided on artificial intelligence, to which I was in charge of the leading breakthroughs page in the first section of types of AI. So, what do I have to present today? Well, I wanted to present about what I learned, which is how the next big breakthroughs in artificial intelligence will be around language, whereas it'll be based on language-based AI tasks. And then examples of these types of AI include Siri, Google Assistant, and Cortana. So the current newest generation is the framework GPT-3, which is made by open source artificial intelligence, or OpenAI for the specific website URL. GPT-3 stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer 3, which in a news report on their website, they stated that they signed an exclusive license for the GPT technology to Microsoft. Now, if you want to get a copy, you can get one through a wait list, but it takes several months. Not an exaggeration. Those are true cases that everyone's complained about. The overview of the report. GPT-3 is capable of translation, question answering, closed tasks, which are fill in the blank questions. It can also answer questions on the fly or questions quickly. It has information saved. It doesn't need to search the internet for answers to every question. It can also unscramble words. So if you just you can give it your homework for high school and it'll solve it. Same thing with this next section. Using a novel word in a sentence, it can basically write a book report if you push it. It can also do simple math, which defeats the purpose of it, in my opinion. It's just a calculator. There was a research conducted on so amount of categories and 16 clusters using the Occupational Information Network, where they found that, yeah, you can read. It was basically found that all sectors could be affected, and a nice 2/3 majority were capable of using it for at least one task, whereas the 1/3 minority were capable of 2 or more tasks. And it was then finalized that GPT-3 would basically be more helpful, assisting humans with their work and assignments instead of simply automating tasks outright, which I can believe that from a personal standpoint. It's a lot easier to work with it than to have it automate outright, because you have to be very specific with those parameters and settings. Otherwise, it can mess up if you give it the chance. Artificial intelligence at this level is not capable of fixing itself. Anyway, some examples of automation include ad copy and social media messages. So it can paste messages online on social media that look like they were made by a human instead of an artificial intelligence. Now, scientists in a company can use the AI to generate, as stated, graphs to inform their colleagues about a product's development. It can also be used to grab from a giant set of papers or one and summarize the point of it. That's very convenient, because everyone hates having to summarize 100 pages of a report. It's very difficult, because usually there's a lot of information that's very important. It is very different from the earlier version of GPT-2, mostly being because of the amount of parameters. GPT-2 has only 1.5 billion, whereas GPT-3 has 175 billion. And then, yeah, it makes a big difference having just 2 answers to a question versus 50. Basically what that is. Not exactly, but yeah. And then GPT-3 is nowhere near finished. It's newish, which makes it not finished to begin with. As I stated earlier, it can do mistakes if you give it room for it, which in the news article, they discussed about how multiple tweets that were created by GPT-3 based on a singular word topic or multiple word topic where it was capable of posting some really sexism and racist language, which is currently being fine-tuned to prevent such text from being generated. And I didn't name the examples because they were too extreme in my opinion. There are people that would be sensitive to it and take offense, that's why it's not there. But if you want the specifics, you can go to the website here. Yeah. Alright. Types of artificial intelligence. I was in charge of ANI, which is Artificial Narrow Intelligence. So what is it? Well, it is a artificial intelligence. Let me rephrase that. It is currently the only version of artificial intelligence that has been made, which means the other two, AGI and ASI, which I won't explain. If you want to learn about them, watch the other presentations my two other classmates did on it. But basically, narrow intelligence is goal-oriented and designed to perform singular tasks. What does it mean? It works to a specific goal of a project, or to whatever it's given, and it'll do tasks in a one-by-one fashion. Once it completes a task, it awaits a new task given out by a human, or a human actually. Artificial intelligence is capable of ordering other artificial intelligence around. It is, of course, the weakest class. It's still capable of many things. It can reduce labor need. It can, as stated earlier, it's not self-aware. It's not capable of thinking outside the box. It thinks based on parameters. What you teach it to do is what it can do. Nothing more, nothing less. So, popular usage of this, or popular examples, are chat bots and other similar AI technologies, like, as I stated in Leading Breakthroughs, Siri, Google, all the other ones. I don't. So, it uses speech and text in natural language to basically it tries to interact with humans in a natural, personalized manner, which means it just wants to try and look as human as possible in its messages to others. Like for chat, like for support, when you're browsing on a website to shop on and you're confused, there might be a little box that says contact us, and it'll just be done by artificial intelligence. It'll just read off your responses and then reply based on that. It's very convenient. It's used in chatbots, which this is an example from Twitch, because that's what I browsed every now and again. The easiest example to think of, as I wrote, was where if you say something you shouldn't say in the chat, the bot would immediately recognize it after scanning through. After X amount of time it waits before reading again. And then it would delete the message or whatever it was set up to do. Delete, censor. Like I said, they can be set up for many different things. My example is that it would recognize it, it would delete it, and then mute the person. And then finally, another real-world example is Apple's Siri, where it can complete many tasks for iPhone users, but fails a task outside its range of abilities. And it solidifies it as a narrow intelligence because it has no self-awareness or genuine intelligence, making it a fundamental example of narrow AI. What does that mean? Well, you can't just tell it to do something that it wasn't made to do. You can't just ask it to drive your car to you, because it wasn't made to do that. That task is out of its list of parameters that it's capable of. And yeah, that's everything I have to present today. There's my singular reference. Alright, well, that's everything. My little team page icon is at the bottom here. Otherwise, that's everything I have to present. Thank you very much. Have a good day.